This weekend had a bit of everything. A complete domination in Indycar, a sprint race in a monsoon, and a Texas race that had all the grace and elegance of a giraffe on rollerblades. We are now solidly mid-season for all these series, meaning that the narratives are already being set for what is a very up and down year of racing. You know, like a roller coaster. But the roller coaster ends with a Mickey Mouse playoff format that crowns undeserving drivers as champions. Have I mentioned I hate the playoffs? So let's get into it. In IndyCar, this weekend was the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix at Barber Motorsports Park. Now first off, happy May to those of you who celebrate. May your Firestone alternates last more than 3 laps and your fuel probe properly engage. Does anyone else remember the race last year where the mannequin just fell off the bridge onto the track? If you don't know what I'm talking about, Barber has all sorts of statues and art around the grounds, and for some ungodly reason, that includes a female mannequin on a pedestrian bridge that crosses the track. The thing even has a name, Georgina, because of course it does. So Georgina decides during the race to yeet herself off the bridge. What's even more wild is because she ended up mostly off the track, the race stayed green. Poor Georgina wasn't rescued until a yellow flag laps later after having her hand brutally amputated. This year, there's no attempted suicides by inanimate objects. Instead, there was just a good old-fashioned ass-kicking by Alex Palou, who finished the race like 16 seconds ahead of Christian Lundgaard. This means Palou has won 3 out of the 4 races so far. But IndyCar, you're doing it all wrong. Alex has already opened up a 60-point lead in the standings, meaning he could just sleep through the next race at the Indy Road Course. If he did so, he would still be first going into the 500. See, what you need to do is go to the NASCAR system, where a Penske driver can have a dogshit season, get a few lucky breaks, and win the last race of the season, therefore locking up the totally legitimate championship. Everyone, say it with me. Fuck Joey Logano. Also worth noting, IndyCar hasn't had a caution since lap 1 of the opener at St. Pete. Imagine that, the best drivers in a discipline not spinning out like a bunch of idiots. Now let's move on to F1, who were in Miami this weekend for the first of 3 races in the good old US of A. Plus, it was a sprint weekend, so we got doubled the fun. And by fun, I mean mass carnage. Having been to Miami a couple times to visit family, I can attest there are only 2 different weather patterns. It's either raining/hurricaning, or hotter than the face of the sun. So on Saturday, we get the absolute monsoon. And before even making it to the grid, Chuck IV of Monaco decides that the sprint races are dumb, so crashes his red shitbox in protest. Eventually, the rest of the field lines up behind Kim Possible, who is easily running away with the Rookie Who Is Actually Good award. At lights out, the cars barrel into turn 1, and Omar Pastry digs back into his bag of tricks and pulls out the super-duper secret strategy of force the outside car off the track again, gaining him first place. Kim Possible gets shuffled back to 4th.
You can't keep getting away with this!
Eventually, the track dries out, and we get a cycle of pit stops to go to slicks. During Mass Vasectomy's pit stop, Red Bull decides to send him out directly into the side of Kim Possible's car, destroying Mass Vasectomy's front wing and gaining him a public execution, otherwise known as a 10-second penalty.
What the fuck are you doing?
When Banjo Porridge comes in for his slicks, Ferris Bueller crashes out after being punted by Liam Neeson, bringing out the safety car. This means that Banjo squeaks out ahead of Pastry and ends up winning the race behind the safety car. Alexander Hamilton somehow drags that red shitbox up to 3rd. With the penalty, Mass Vasectomy finishes 16th. And all of that was just a sprint. I'm leaving it. I know I messed up Banjo there, but I'm leaving it. Before the big race on Sunday, the drivers do a parade lap in some life-sized Lego cars. And boys being boys, they decide to race them. So off the line, Banjo gets his patented terrible start, letting Chuck IV and Jorge Roosevelt through. What I'm most shocked about is that the FIA didn't give him all 10-second penalties for cutting the corners. Finally, in the main race on Sunday, Mass Vasectomy lines up on pole ahead of Banjo Porridge. And it's lights out and the fuckery begins. They get through turn 1 well enough, but Banjo is forced wide in turn 2, dumping him out into 6th. Behind, Liam Neeson and Josh Dubad have a ding-dong, knocking Dubad out of the race and bringing out the VSC. Banjo works his way past Jorge Roosevelt and Kim Possible, and Banjo and Mass Vasectomy have themselves a heck of a battle before Banjo gets the position. Then, Olive Garden, Gabe Newell, and Liam Neeson all retired from the race. Olive and Gabe retire with mechanical problems, and Liam Neeson retires with damage from his lap 1 ding-dong. So Omar Pastry wins his 3rd Grand Prix in a row, Banjo finishes 2nd, and both were 30 seconds ahead of Jorge Roosevelt. Now from one banger to another. And by banger, I mean from one good race to one shit race. The Worth 400 presented by Liquid Molly at Texas Motor Speedway. The race that begs the question, why the fuck do we still race at Texas? I'll tell you why we still race at Texas. Because NASCAR is bound and determined to tap the Dallas-Fort Worth market, and what better way to secure a fan base than produce mediocre racing at a half-empty track? So Carson Hocevar 77 leads the field to green, and immediately the field spreads out, because of course it does. It's Texas. On lap 20, the 4 of Noah Gragson kicked off the spin parade by spinning himself out in turn 1 when trying to go around the outside of Daniel Suarez. Well done, Noah. On lap 74, Denny Hamlin had himself an engine failure. Engine failure is the wrong term, more like a barbecue. Actually, more like a thermonuclear bomb going off. RIP Denny, and shout out to Toyota engines. On lap 88, after the stage restart, Chase Briscoe spins off the bump on turn 4. He was running 10th at the time. Let's check on the Chase Briscoe depression meter, which now sits at, please God, let the pain end. Also, you would think that the great Texas Motor Speedway, the track that killed North Wilkesboro for about 3 decades, would not have a bump the size of Denny Hamlin's ego in turn 4. On lap 125, Josh Berry was leading the race and attempted to lap Cody Ware, but hits Mount Killa driver Jaro in turn 4, spinning him out. That's now 3 solo spins. If we get to 4, we all get to burn Texas Motor Speedway to the ground.
I say let it die. Let it die, let it die.
On lap 161, Chris Buescher gets into the wall and loses a tire while running 3rd. Chris gets down on the apron, but the shredded tire comes up onto the track, bringing out the caution. I honestly didn't remember that Chris Buescher was a NASCAR driver. During pit stops at the end of stage 2, William Byron yeets Cole Custer on pit road, meaning Cole was pitting backwards. I swear this is about the 6th time this season that someone has yeeted someone else on pit road. Well done, everybody. On lap 172, at the start of stage 3, the big one from Talladega decided to finally show up. Bubba Wallace got up high into the wall, and Joey Logano was right on his tail. This spins Bubba in front of the field, catching Noah Gragson, AJ Allmendinger, and Alex Bowman. Now, this crash was obviously caused by Bubba hitting the wall. However, Joey Logano was in the same zip code, so I want to blame Joey. Because fuck Joey Logano. On lap 219, the 62 of Jesse Love spins on the backstretch and crashes into the wall. That's 4 solo spins, meaning we get to burn Texas Motor Speedway to the ground. However, it's like the playoffs and simply refuses to die. With 39 laps to go, Kyle Busch spins coming over the bump in turn 4. This is now 5 solo spins on the day. The beatings for the number 8 team will continue until morale improves. The races since Kyle Busch has won counter now stands at 68. With 31 laps to go, Ryan Preece, Carson Hocevar, and Cody Ware all crash. Carson Hocevar runs Ryan Preece into the wall and both come down the track. Behind them, Cody Ware moves down to avoid, but there's a Kyle Busch-shaped object in the way. For this obvious crime against party and state, Carson Hocevar will be sent back to the rice fields.
Welcome to the rice fields, motherfucker.
With 21 to go, Kyle Busch, Cole Custer, Austin Cindric, and Brad Keselowski all get together on the backstretch. This happened after Brad K gets sideways and stacks up everyone behind. Let's briefly check in on Team Keselowski. With 14 to go, Reddick spun after getting tapped by Daniel Suarez on the front stretch. Now, to be fair to Daniel, he was right up against the grass and Tyler was coming down on top of him. Congrats, Tyler, you drive like a dum-dum. With 4 to go, Michael McDowell is leading on older tires after only taking right sides on his last pit stop. Joey Logano, fuck that guy, is in second and gets a run. Michael McDowell runs him all the way down onto the apron and almost crashes, but loses the position to Joey. Coming out of turn 2 with 3 laps to go, Ryan Blaney makes the pass for second and pulls up ahead of Michael McDowell, taking the air off his nose and putting him into the wall, thus ending his day. This leads to overtime, with Joey Logano leading.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because
So Joey Logano wins the race. This is now the 9th plague of NASCAR. We must now all pour out a Budweiser on our cars so the angel of Penske Championships will pass over us this season. Yes, that is a Passover reference. With that massive bummer on our minds, let's do the awards. The Mamma Mia That's a Spicy Meatball award goes to Denny Hamlin for his engine going bang bang. The Grass Isn't Always Greener award goes to Alexander Hamilton, who left Mercedes for Ferrari this year. Since then, he has finished 10th, a win at the China Sprint, a disqualification from the China Big Race, 7th, 5th, 7th, 8th, 3rd in the Miami Sprint, and 8th for the main race. He now sits at 7th in the standings. Compare that to Jorge Roosevelt and Kim Possible at his old team, who are 4th and 6th in the points respectively. Plus, Hamilton's radio has sounded like a borderline emotionally abusive relationship with the team. And yes, I intentionally mess with the F1 names to play into the dumb American vibe. Thanks for keeping up. The Stone Cold Killers Awards go to Omar Pastry and Alex Palou, both of whom are on absolute tears right now. Omar has won 4 of 6 Grand Prix this year, and Palou has won 3 of 4 in IndyCar. Well done, gentlemen, and please kill me last. The This Is Why No One Likes You, You Big Dumb Dipshit award goes to Chase Elliott, not because he's a big dumb dipshit, but because drivers who win this award tend to win the next race. Kyle Larson won this award for his double crash at Darlington, and then won Bristol. Joey Logano, seriously, fuck Joey Logano, won the award last week and won this week at Texas. So, as a Chase Elliott fanboy, I need you to fucking win. Please, my life is already a series of pain. I need you to win, and I need the St. Louis Cardinals to not be dog shit. No, the Chase win doesn't count anymore. The I Hate You with the Fire of 1,000 Suns award goes to Joey Logano. Words cannot adequately express how much I hate Joey Logano. Congrats on your win, and I can't wait for you or Blaney to bullshit your way into winning a championship. Now, fuck off. Also, I want you to take a look at this picture. Does anyone else get the impression that Joey is holding a sawed-off shotgun aimed at Austin's nuts here? Also, once again, shout out to the greatest NASCAR pundit of our age, Chipper Jones, for continuing the Twitter beef with Joey. You are doing the Lord's work. The French Revolution Comes for All award goes to Jack Doohan, who's being booted from Alpine. He will be publicly guillotined before being replaced by Franco Colapinto. R.I.P. Jack, and shout out to his family. Next week, IndyCar will be running the Indianapolis road course, and NASCAR will be at Kansas. And Indy has probably already happened by the time you're seeing this because it's currently 11:30 the night before the race. I'm great at this. So to review, fuck Joey Logano, I hate Texas Motor Speedway, Alex Palou and Oscar Piastri are serial killers, F1 needs to use the Lego cars at Monaco, and the fallen state of NASCAR makes me sad. Thank you, and fuck Joey Logano.